Cool. Let's 3, 2, 1. Hi, welcome to Hey Jonah. This is a dose of Jonah where we'll talk about anything we like. We just recorded for an hour without my voice, so fuck.
I know. He fucking failed, dude.
Okay, so first story, or like today's episode, I want to talk about, or we would like to talk about our experience in the Bay Area and getting a job and stuff like that, starting out, if you're fresh out of college and like just starting your career. We're gonna be geared towards more of a designer and developer kind of thing because, like I said, we're in the Bay Area, so you know we can only speak from our experiences. Your ice cream looks like tofu, but first story of the day. So Caroline obviously already heard this,
Yeah.
but
Just say it again.
I mean, I said it like 100 times already because I told like 100 people. But yesterday my mom called me, and my mom has 3 lines, right? Phone lines. And usually when she calls with one number, her main number, and I don't pick up, she'll call me with her third number or second number or like what fourth number, whatever. And basically my mom calls me, and then like immediately right after someone else calls me, so you know immediately I think it's my mom. So I'm like, yes. And then the guy goes, Jonathan, and I'm like, fuck, it's not my mom. And then I'm like, mind you, I'm in my bed over there, I'm laying belly down, so I'm on my belly and I'm just designing stuff, right? And basically like I'm just like, yes. And he's like, oh, we got your resume and we really like what your skill sets are. Are you looking for a full-time or like a part-time kind of job? I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for anything at this point. Desperate as fuck. And then basically, hold on. I wanted to turn my mic down a little bit. He goes, okay, to start off, let me just ask you a few questions for me to just get to know you. And I'm like, okay. And he was like, oh, do you want to grow with the organization? At first I'm like, well, that's kind of a dumb question because obviously you'll say yes. But I was like, yeah, of course I would like to grow with the organization because, you know, times are always changing and times moving forward. And in this day and age and in the Bay Area, everything's always moving faster than everything else. So I would always love to grow more and love to learn more and stuff like that. So that was my answer for that question. And then he goes, great. Like, you know, the recruiter, great. And then, he says, oh, we're a company that specializes in indoor and outdoor marketing, and we go to trade shows, stuff like that. And so he goes, oh, and then we have some executives and HR execs that like your resume, and we would really love for you to come in for an in-person interview. We have an event on Friday, so if you can come in like before that, like a Wednesday or a Thursday, that'd be great. And I'm like, it's Tuesday night. I'm like, tomorrow's Wednesday, bitch. Like, what the fuck? And I'm not in the mindset for this whole job kind of thing. It's 6 p.m. I'm belly down, and I'm not in the mood or not in the right mindset. Yeah. So I'm like, let me choose a later date. So basically, I go, oh, I would like Thursday. And he goes, oh, what time are you available? I'm like, I'm free all day. And then I stop and I think about it. I'm like, oh, wait. You know how I said I was free all day? I'm actually only free from 11 to 3 because of the Bay Area traffic. He starts laughing, you know, giggle, whatever. And then he's like, okay, we set you for an interview in person at 12, and we'll send you an email confirmation about how to get to the location. And I was like, okay, great. Talk to you later. And you know, when someone calls you about a job, like they would talk about the position that they're looking to hire you for. So this has not happened in this conversation at all. So red flag number 1. So he told me a little bit about the company, like the company overview, but I don't trust it. So I went online and I LinkedIn, and then I googled them, and basically I went to their webpage, and exactly as he says, it's scripted and all that, and I was just like, okay, whatever. And this was like really late when I looked up, so I went to sleep. Next day, I look at Glassdoor because someone goes, hey, look at their Glassdoor reviews. And I'm like, oh yeah, duh. So Glassdoor is basically kind of like the Yelp of a professional Yelp, right? A career Yelp. And you can talk about the jobs, you can talk about the management, you can talk about like a specific person, the pros and cons, you can rate it, your salary, all that good stuff is all there. And basically, like, this place has 2 stars, dude. 2 effing stars. And I was just like, I go through some of the reviews, and it's like, oh, like, you know, the pros are like kind of like the usual pros. There's 1 4-star review. It's like, everything's great. And you're just like, okay, yeah, right. And then I go down further, and it says like, oh, the pros, you know, the people are great. So obviously that's the thing. And then the con was like, oh, it's really, if you're looking to make money right away, this is not the job for you. Like, you won't make money until 3-4 months in. And I worked here for 6 months. Yeah. So basically, I was just like, scroll down. Let me look at the next one. So basically, the next job review for the company was like, oh, do not join this thing. Asterisk. This is a pyramid scheme. Yeah. So basically, if you don't know what a pyramid scheme is, there's a bottom tier, a middle tier, and then the top tier. The top tier person is the one that buys the products, and then buys it for 50% off that they sell it to the bottom tier. So the bottom tier is supposed to go out and sell these products at a price that will benefit the CEO or the person on top. And basically, like, so how pyramid scheme continues to work is until they run out of people to kind of like scam in a way. Like, then they change their names, which is what this company did, because that was in one of the reviews. They're like, oh, this company used to be called this, like, don't do it. They're like, they're just doing some new things, and it's hella smart on their hand, because like the way that they made their website design, like, it seemed like they knew how to twist words to make it seem like they weren't a pyramid scheme. Yeah. So they're like, oh yeah, we're like, we go to trade shows. Obviously, pyramid schemes will go to trade shows because they're trying to sell their product, right? I was just like, yeah. But the way they wrote it online is that they're marketing and they help people go to trade shows. You know what I mean? So like, let's just say
telling a lie by using the truth.
Exactly, it's hella weird. So it's like, you know, when we go to conventions, you see like a Bandai booth or you see like a Funimation booth. It's like the way it's written, it sounds like they're the ones that set up the booth for companies. So that's how I conveyed the message. Yeah. But then really, it's a different message. It's like, we do outdoor, indoor events, and we go to trade shows. See what I mean? And we do trade shows. So it sounds like they do that because they say they're a marketing and advertisement company.
Yeah.
Yup. And they are. So it's kind of like, fuck, dude. So they're hella smart on that part. But then I had a red flag, and I was
I want to see. I'm hella interested in what they want it, what it looks like.
Oh, the product?
The company.
Usually it's like in like a really danky little house room thingy, you know.
No, I mean, like, send me a link to the website. I want to see.
Oh, the website's broken.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, like, I forgot to mention that last time, but I went there to try to look at it again, and it was hella broken. Let me try to look for it. Hold on.
Oh, what? For real?
But, yeah, it's called, I don't know. I want to say what it's called, because I don't want to be rude. Let me check. Someone was probably trying to push something up, and probably fucked up the code, so everything's broken. It's working now.
Oh.
It's hella basic ass name. I feel like they could have been sued for it, but like, you know what I mean? Here, I'll send it to you on Messenger. Like, you look at the name and you're like, See, look at, if you read the whole front page, it sounds like they're a marketing company.
Yeah.
Like, everything legit looks like. crazy, right? So they have a suite, and usually those suites are really danky. Even their photos looks like a pyramid scheme photo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a company like little party thing.
Yep. Like I've been in not a few. I've been in one other pyramid scheme before, and they always have a photo like that where they win an award for their products, and it's not like the best product out there, but you know they have to make it look legit. So my first pyramid scheme was when I was 18 or 19, and it didn't seem like a pyramid scheme to me at the time because I didn't have to pay for the product that they were selling. So basically, I got it for free.
That's hella weird how you didn't have to pay.
Yeah, because like, well, I didn't know this until I read what it was. So I was just like, maybe it's not. So this whole time, like that whole time when I was researching it, I'm like, maybe it's not. But you know, I quit it just for safekeeping, you know. And basically, the training was paid for too, which was also weird.
Oh, they're around your area.
They're in Fremont. Yeah. That's why they set up an appointment there, and basically like yeah, they paid for training and they paid for the products when I was there, and I got paid right away when I got a sale. So I was just like, maybe it's not as bad as I think. I sold $2,000 worth of knives. I got $200 back. It's not that much, guys. It's not that much. $200 can't get you shit in the Bay Area.
Wait, I want to look at the glass door now.
Yeah, you do that. If anyone in chat would like me to go to the grass store and like you could see the thing, just tell me I could do that for you. But yeah, so I found out about the pyramid scheme, so I left that shit right away. Like forever. Like I left without even looking back. And then so I think that's all for my thing. And that, where are you at? Are you Wait, are you looking at the glass door?
No, I'm looking at their website. So.
Did you go to like About Us or Team or like? This is kind of like some of the things that are like lorem ipsum. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like they just took a bunch of like techie words and then like mashed them all together.
Yep. Because they obviously the longer you make it, the less people will read. The font size is smaller. There's also like psychology around this. When we went to class, like no one reads more than like 7 characters in a line. So the bigger the text, the better, because people will tend to read it more. So when you make it smaller, there's in one line there's like 20 words. No one's gonna read that shit, bitch. Like they have 1.3 reviews now. 1.3 reviews or stars?
Yeah. Oh, stars.
How much did I say last time?
Didn't you say they had 2?
Yeah. Oh my god. This company's going to shambles. Hi, Erica. Okay, so let's talk about like getting started. Oh wait, are you done looking? Are you done looking? Are you still?
I'm gonna keep looking, but
okay, you keep looking, and I'll just keep talking. Yeah. So because I would like to talk about like our first experiences trying to find a job in the Bay Area again, like where like getting started. You know, like. When you're trying to get started here, you think to yourself like, fuck, I can't get started because I don't have all of these job requirements. But we did talk about this earlier where like these job requirements that people put out, they aren't realistic to the point where like if you feel like the position title fits you, apply for it anyways, and then see specifically with the HR person what they're looking for. Because what's happening is that these HR people that post the jobs to the site are getting directions from a tech person that says, hey, we're looking for this job title. So this HR executive or this HR person is looking for that job template description and posting that up, even though it might not be right. So it's always, you'll always have a better chance to just look at it and just apply. And then
Yeah,
you when you apply and they like your resume so much, they'll call you back, and then you can ask them, like, go into detail about it later,
yeah,
because
and especially if you have a really good portfolio.
exactly, yeah. Well, we're talking about design and like development because we have portfolios. But if you're in accounting or something, sorry. Yeah, but you could basically, like, yeah, like I said, like, don't be afraid to apply because it might be hard, because you like the it might be intimidating because the job description is asking for 1,000 things, and you're
Mhm.
barely fresh out of college and you don't know shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like yeah, basically like I said I used to work for this company. They hired me even though I was fresh out of college, right? So it was for a design job, and then so I got hired, and I was curious about what the requirements were because I just got hired for like super easy. And then I looked, and then the job requirements were 2 to 3 years of design experience, and then a bachelor's degree, which I don't have. And I also didn't have a 2 to 3 years experience, but I got hired anyway. So, I mean, it was a shit job, you know, like it was a shit job. It was shit pay, but it got me in the door, like it got my foot in the door. But, just apply. Like, even if it's like a small time job and then they have these crazy requirements, like just apply anyway because you'll never know.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, like, when you're starting off and you see this intimidating, like, this job description, apply for it, and then figure it out. Like, when they like you, they'll message you. You talk about it, like what the job details intend. Because usually, when what the HR person, the first phone screening does, is that they basically, like, it's just testing you for if you check off the list. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like that,
Yeah,
the HR person's like, okay, check off. Okay, check off. They have no idea what you're saying. They have no idea what, like, JavaScript is. Photoshop, what
yeah,
is it? What is that? Illustrator, what is that? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Check off, check
yeah,
off, check off. So
yeah.
once you check off all that shit, like, the next round of interviews is with the technical person, and that's when you can be like, okay, can I get a further detailed, like, job description, or like what would I be
Mhm.
doing? And then that's when
Yeah,
you can be like, okay, yeah, okay, I could totally do this. Because
yeah, yeah,
the technical person that's trying to hire the person doesn't, like, have time to read the job description the HR person is putting out, because that's why they need another person. You know what I mean? They don't have time to do this
yeah,
job by themselves, so they're looking for another person to come on board to help them out with stuff
yeah.
like that. And basically, because then, even I have an example right now. I got messaged for a job using React because React is on my resume, and um like I checked off everything on his list, but the thing is, like, everything on his list, there's a scale, right? So
Mhm.
on the scale, I'm probably over here, whereas they're looking for someone over here. I tell him I
Mhm.
have 3 years of experience. The job description says I need 5, but when I talk to him, he's like, "You're good."
Yeah,
So I'm just
yeah,
like, okay, cool. So I'm getting through one thing, and he's messaging me back, and I was just like, oh shit, I don't know if I want to go through with it, because for me, before I take a job, I want to be comfortable in the language and in the job that I'm gonna, like, take. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to. We can go into my job where I didn't feel comfortable, in a bit, but I want to, like, be able to go home and relax, or like go home and learn more, or go home and do stuff that I want to do. Like, some people go gym,
mhm.
some people go out with friends.
Yeah,
Because I had a job before where it was my first job, and I was stressing out over, like, not being able to catch up.
mhm.
So basically what happened was that I applied for this job fresh out of college, and it had uh, I knew JavaScript, and
Mhm.
the job description required React JavaScript. I didn't know the differences between JavaScript at that point. I know there's
Mhm.
Angular JS, I know there's JavaScript, I know there's vanilla. I didn't know, like, what React was, because back then it was new. And basically
Mhm.
React is kind of like a simpler, like, JavaScript that Facebook created. They got off of Facebook, but so they created it, and then I took the job, right? And then they needed someone with a higher skill, with a higher knowledge of it. because I was fresh out of college. I didn't know what it was, but I got the job, and that's where I was talking about how like you can get a job with no experience if you could talk the talk. but sometimes,
Yeah.
but sometimes like you fuck yourself over with those kind of jobs because you don't know how to
Mhm.
complete it. You
And
know,
then like the companies too that are hiring or fresh out of college students, they're like
too
hiring
cheap.
them because they have a cheap budget.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So like it's because they're cheap and like it was a startup and it was 5 people, right? So
Hmm.
and the product was barely there at all.
Hmm.
So that's why like they needed someone like with more experience, but they didn't have enough of a budget
Hmm.
to continue.
Yeah.
And basically what happened was that I was there for 6 months perfectly, and it was a job that's like it was a job. I wasn't on contract or anything, but
Hmm.
I talked over to the CEO because we're just like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not catching up. Like, oh, I feel like she's like, oh, do you know why we're having this talk? And I'm just like, my naive kid self was like, oh, I'm sorry, I feel like I can't. Oh, we're slowing down because of my skill sets or my level or my scale of what I do. And she was like, no,
Hmm.
no, 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 no. I think it's not your fault completely. So she learned from me, right? She was just like,
Hmm.
when you leave, don't worry, there's not going to be someone replacing you. This
Hmm.
job is just not going to exist
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
we weren't looking. We weren't. You are not the person we're like. Your title wasn't the person we're looking for. I hella told this.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're like, oh, next when you look on the website next time, it's probably like someone with 5 years experience, someone that's a senior,
Yeah.
like developer and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
basically I stopped 6 months, and I was glad that she was able to see it. Like I'm not the type of person to be like, hi, I need some space. Hi, I need some time to like learn this, so like I said, like when you BS a job, saying
Hmm.
something and you go home and you have to catch up, you have no time, you have no freedom, and you feel
Hmm.
stuck, and that's you're not going to be
Hmm.
happy in the end. And just trust me
Hmm.
when I say this, like always do a job that you can grow with. Like you meet the requirements at the bottom and you can
Hmm.
grow with them, and then you can do like whatever you want, you know what I mean? Like unless you're like a super genius ass bitch, you know what I mean, that's
Yeah.
like I know this and I can learn it, and then, you do you.
Yeah. No, actually, what is it called? My husband's cousin is like that. So she's an art director actually for a really big company, and oh, you met her at that
Oh my
UX.
god, her! Oh my god, I love her. We should
Yeah, I
party.
know she's hella smart, dude. And then so she could. So I think her first like design job or whatever, they were like, oh, so can you do like video editing? She was like, yeah, I can, but then she really couldn't. Like, so she just learned like Premiere and like hella fast and what is it called?
But really,
Adobe
I feel
After
like for me,
Effects.
I could learn that hella fast too.
Yeah, no, Premiere's easy, but
Like,
like
I
she
mean, like
went
editing,
she
because
went
then
from
for me, it's like it was a code, but you could go ahead.
oh yeah
Mine's a
no
language.
but oh yeah no coding is hella different,
Yeah.
but no, but she went from graphic designer to an art director
Oh my
for
god.
UX, and
Is she
it's
still in
like
the same company?
no, she's in a different company now.
Oh,
Here,
okay.
I'll message it to you.
Oh, it doesn't matter, but I'm just saying, like, oh my gosh, she was so fun. Like, oh my god. So that was my experience. So basically, for all you people out there that are freshly out of college, and
I
okay,
think just like do what you feel is what
you
you
feel
feel
like you can
comfortable
do
with.
exactly. So
Yeah,
always
and
ask
you feel
yourself
comfortable.
what you're comfortable with, because I still get job descriptions sent to me,
Mhm.
positions
Mhm.
sent to me, and basically like sometimes I can't do it. So I'm like, the best thing you can say to those people is like, hey, I'll keep you in the books. Like always tell them that you are available and you will reference them sometimes, because in the case that you
Mhm.
are available for it, they'll have a different job for you and it's probably the same.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
always keep your bridges. Never burn your
Mhm.
bridges. Like don't, like you get an email saying, hey, I'm looking for this, and you feel like you're uncomfortable, and you could just be like, hey, I'm not looking right now, but I'll keep you in the back of my book, you know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
we'll
Or
keep in
even if
touch. Yeah.
it's for a job that you feel doesn't fit um your what is it called? your career. Like let's say it's for a recruiter that recruits for like a lot of IT jobs, and then so they're looking for someone that is like a developer or something, and that's not something that you do. Still like keep them anyway because what if they have like a UX job or a graphic design job like in the future or something?
Yeah, that's perfect. Because okay, so we're on Twitch, so I'll just talk about it. I applied at Twitch, and they use React, and they have a lot of job openings. And they're 50% of the reason, or 70% of the reason why I want to continue learning React. And actually, a lot of the job descriptions that are sent to me have React, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
only Twitch, but it would be great because I'm streaming on Twitch, and I just want to like work there too. So it's just like one job,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
then
that's awesome.
basically like the guy that was my recruiter. Oh shit! So okay. I'll just keep talking. So my recruiter basically like I keep them. He was like, "Oh, sorry, I don't think we're gonna move on with the thing." But I knew we weren't gonna move on because in my field or in our field, for Caroline she has a design test, and for me I have a developer test. Unless
Mm-hmm.
unless otherwise I just do a design job, then I would have a design test. And these tests are so complicated sometimes. But
Yeah.
basically like
So I don't even want to delve in the developer. Like I feel like I like front end, but I can't go there. Like that's too much to think about. I just want to make things pretty. Okay, that's it. That's all.
Caroline. Erica asked me a question, and she was just like, "How hard is React compared to JavaScript?" So basically, React is a JavaScript. It's React JavaScript. It's React JS, and basically the difference is that someone else made it pretty, right? So someone else made it super simple, like to integrate CSS, to integrate HTML without actually using HTML or CSS. There's similar similar syntax, and
Yes.
and basically like once you learn, if you know JavaScript, you know the syntax of React, which is the language and how to like you can grammatically read it. You know what I mean? Like you could read it, and but there's just some stuff that you need to learn, like
I
how to
understand
actually
it.
exactly but you can't really like use it because you don't know like the terms. You could grammatically put it in a sentence and read that sentence and understand, like comprehend that sentence, but you can't. If someone goes rewrite that to me, I'm like fuck that, no bitch.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically think about it like
Hold
really.
your own
Think about it like a language, like it is like people are, oh, this is my
language.
language. Like I could understand. Okay, how about bitch, HTML5 versus C++. C++ is a backend code. It's
Yeah.
an engineering code.
Mhm.
Oh, C sharp, not C++. The fuck? She wrote C sharp. I'm not a C plus or C sharp person. That's a more computer science background, and they do apps and stuff like that. They do the heavy work.
They're the engineers.
They're like, when you think of engineers, those are engineers. And HTML5 is basically stuff that you see. So basically, when
Yeah.
someone codes in C plus or C sharp, you don't see anything, and it's not pretty. It's just words. Like
It's like let's say
the
if
engine.
someone was coding like a checkout, like how a person would check out,
Yeah.
you know, how that whole thing works. Like that's basically back end, and then the front end of that is like how the
Pretty.
checkout looks like.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, I was gonna use an example that didn't involve like code. I was gonna say, think of it as a train. So C plus is the engine that's moving the train, and what you see is the outside of the train, like the windows, the chimes. You know what I mean? That's HTML. That's the front end, and that's what you see. Whereas C plus is like they're making that shit move, bitch.
Mhm.
What-
Bitch.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. C plus makes it
Yeah.
move and makes it work. Yeah, and so she asks me, "Do you prefer front end or back end?" I only learned front end, so I prefer front end.
Right all the way.
Yeah, front end.
In the bedroom. Just kidding.
Yeah, back end. You can
Back
kiss
in the
my ass.
bedroom.
Yeah, just kiss me in the ass. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's not that. Okay, the difference is it's totally different because it's like I said. I think we deferred the difference, but I only like front end because that's what I learned, and I don't want to learn the
No,
back
I
end.
can't even. I can't even. If I did learn back end, I feel like I wouldn't like it anyway. Like I would. I'm more into like visual things, like drawing and all that stuff. Like I don't want to make things work. The fuck.
Well, yeah, because you're more of a visual person, and I like to do both. I try to do both.
Yeah, we're both. That's
Mhm.
why I'm a better visual designer than you. So.
Yeah, because like they said, okay, so it's a great thing that Caroline said that because I would like to bring up back before this time. Damn, I feel old. Back before like 4 or 5 years ago when I talked to my career
Coach,
coach, career coach. She was
career
like,
advisor.
yeah, the advisor. She said that like, Jonah, what do you do? And I'm just like, I like both. And like, she's like, you can't like both. I'm like, what?
Don't judge my sexuality. Just kidding.
Exactly. No, seriously. So back then there wasn't that hybrid job that Caroline talked about earlier. There was only either your front end or your
Oh,
back end.
they don't know that I talked about hybrid.
Yeah,
Because
we'll
your
talk.
ass was
No, I brought it up, and we'll talk about it in a bit. But basically, that didn't exist back then because people said that like you can't like you know how people look down upon like a jack of all trades, where like uh you can't be good at everything. You can only be good at one thing because you specifically work hard in that one thing in order to improve. And there is that truth to an extent, I feel like. But there can be someone that's good at everything. They're just not like for excellent in
master
all
of
of them.
none. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like I can do better in my front end coding, but I really do love design. Like, it's like do what you love and do what you're comfortable with is what we said earlier. I like both and I don't want to get rid of both, you know what I mean? And basically we mentioned this I'll get to your question in a bit, Erica. Basically we mentioned this hybrid thing, and I looked it up, and basically a hybrid designer has kind of like the design skills of a graphic designer, but their mindset as a developer. So I'm more of that kind of designer. So basically you can talk to a developer and walk them through whatever you wanted from that design. So let's just say the UX designer has a flow, they did all their research, they did their personas, and they did their target marketing, and then they bring it to the UI developer or designer, and the person makes it pretty, like what you see, a prototype, right? And basically the hybrid designer can work with that team to then go on and talk about to the engineers, hey, I need this to work like this, and I'm using their lingo. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I need you to code this way because we need to make it in this specific work this specific way. And basically I feel like a hybrid designer would then start the code, you know what I mean? They would start the front end code, and they would start the code to just so the back end can plug it in if they're that good, but
Have you ever heard of avocado?
yes, I have.
Yeah, I think that makes things easier. Anyway, what was her question?
Her question was, what's the difference between a full stack? I mean, what's the full stack? A full stack engineer is exactly what we said. Oh, we didn't really say it, but a full stack engineer is a front end developer and a back end developer together. It's kind of like I said earlier, how like you can't be a jack of all trades. So this rule still applies, right? You just because you say you know both doesn't mean you're good at both. There's always shortcuts that people take, and that's where it ruins the company and stuff like that, because like then you're like, oh, but that's not what I learned in school, and we'll talk about this after, but you can't. That's what a full stack is basically, Erica. And what I mean earlier by you can't do everything is that what you learn in school, or like what you did in school, is best scenario ever. Like, you got the project, the client is dope because the client's your damn teacher. You got guidelines that made fucking sense. I want this, and specifically this. And it makes sense. And the thing is, you have more artistic freedom in class. You're like, oh, I'm going to make an app like this, and this is my color scheme. In the real world, it's like, no, bitch, I want a nude.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I actually have to follow like their style guide and shit like that.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's so hard because sometimes you get that picky ass bitch that's like, no, I want it lighter, and it's the same color, and you're like, what, bitch?
Oh my god, I went through that shit all the time when I used to work at Vinegar.
Like, like no, I just remember. But like, no, the thing is, it's like sometimes like you have to explain to them like, hey, the monitor is different. Like your monitor looks different than my monitor. Like my blue is your blue, and that blue is different. Like it looks different, but trust me, it's the same. And then you have to ensure like, oh, when we're printing this, oh, it's a different color. Like fuck.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. So that's what I mean by like perfect scenario, right? You will never have a perfect scenario in a job. They'll always want to cut corners because the deadlines are right away and stuff like that. Do you have Scrum? Because Erica calls it a sync. Like, in the morning you go like, this is what I did yesterday. This is what I'm gonna do today. What do you call it? What?
Huddle.
Oh, why is there so many fucking words for it? God damn. But Scrum Scrum for me is more like I think it was more of an engineering thing.
Yeah, I remember we would go through what we did yesterday, what we're gonna do today, and if there's any thing that can hinder what
exactly. Yeah. Erica calls it a sync. Yep. And basically, like, those are really helpful. Like, at first, I'm just like my first job, I was just like, I'm doing this, I think, and this. Yesterday, I did this. No, it was so useless because, like, we're a team of 5 people, and everyone had their own position. Like, we don't touch each other. So, basically, I'm like, yeah, I do this, this, and this. And basically, there's no one else to be like, oh yeah, and we're working on this, but we're not. It's just me. Wait, what games would you prefer to be engineers for? An app or a messenger game? So, okay. So Erica is working at a game company, so her questions are so gamey. I think it's so she can get an insight to her company like environment. So when they're talking, she can understand. And an app game is different from a messenger game, and by messenger she means like Facebook message, like the games that you play. And basically a messenger game, I found out, is by JavaScript, so it is a front-end code. There is back-end because you have to reach databases, you have to store your data, like your username, the score, stuff like that. So you do need a back-end person, but in order to make it work, it's kind of like Flash. Remember Flash? Yeah. So there's a thing called like HTML5 canvas, and it's basically you code it kind of like ActionScript. It's hella weird, but like it's ActionScript code syntax, but it's JavaScript, so you never have to touch Flash. Yeah. So you don't have to be like, oh, enable Flash player, because that shit's old. Dude, no, I was looking for jobs. That shit, people still look for that shit. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, people are looking for Flash. I'm like, what the fuck?
That shit dead, dude.
You know what I hella want to do? Like, do you know that game Last of Us?
Nope.
On PlayStation?
Nope. Oh, the one with the boy and the girl? I need to Google it.
Yeah, the little girl and then the man.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I know.
They had like this whole like kind of like documentary about how they made the whole game, like from beginning to end, like
even
everything in the game.
Oh shit, okay.
Like everything in the game, yeah. And then there was this one girl, and her job was the UI designer for the controls, and I'm like, dude, that is like an awesome job. I want to fucking do that shit.
Oh my god. So okay, since we're talking about that shit, yeah. Oh my god, so since we're talking about that shit, like, I remember back in school, like, I was really close to Stephen Ho because I felt like he was my mentor, kind of like my older brother, you know what I mean? Like, because he was old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was experienced because he was a graphic designer. Like, he was in the field.
You're talking about him, like, in the past tense, like, is he dead or what? Like, what?
No, well, cause I'm talking about him, like, back then. Because I don't talk to him now, bitch. I don't talk to him. I mean, I do talk to him sometimes, but he only talks to me on like Snapchat, and I don't use Snapchat that often. And basically, like, I just learned a lot, and he was just like, yeah, UX you can go into anything. Like, you can go into TV design pretty soon because TVs have
Yeah,
apps now, car
yeah,
designs because most of the dashboard of a car needs a UX and
yeah.
UI
It's
person.
digital now. Yeah,
Yeah. So basically, like, I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool, but
that's what
like, that's like a designer job.
that's what I want. I want to be a UI UX design, or I think strictly UI, visual design.
Yeah, because you're more visual, right? A UX.
I like UX. I like researching, I guess, but I think I like my favorite part is like prototyping
That's
and
why
UI.
when I said I was gonna be a UX when I first got out of college, I was just like, oops, I meant UI because I thought it was one thing. Because back then it was one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We
you
were
couldn't
so
tell.
old, dude. We're so old.
You couldn't fucking tell. Like when people would ask, like, what's the difference between UI and UX, and you're just like, they're fucking the same. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
It's the same.
exactly, exactly.
job.
Now there's a difference, but basically, let
There's like a
me.
distinct difference. There was a
There's
difference
so much
before.
difference,
But
dude.
yeah, like now it's like even more distinct. Like before it
Exactly.
was,
There's
oh,
because there's
like,
more
oh, like,
research now.
yeah.
Yeah, so I was and I was I worked with the UX designer, and she worked in the field for like 10 years, 10 plus
Uh-huh,
years. So
uh-huh.
I worked really close to her, like I said, because there was only 5 people on the team, and I was gonna be the UI designer. And basically, what happened was that, like, she was telling me like, oh, this is what you do. She was so detailed to the point where I was like, I did not know that I need to do that, because goddamn, that's hella work. No, because she has like a PRD. Do you know what a PRD is? Because if you're a
Mm-mm.
UX designer, you're gonna need to know what a PRD is. A
What is
PRD
that?
is the product requirement document. So starting from
Oh,
scratch, you're like, what needs to be required, and then from that
oh,
document.
like a features roadmap. I think that's what they call it now.
Oh
Features roadmap.
yeah. And basically, like, you have to highlight what from what quarter, or what from
Mhm.
like which and what stage. And then after that, like, she would do like the sitemaps, like the folders of a
Mhm.
user, and the sitemap plus the user flow. And like, she would have like freaking 20 pages. And
Jesus.
like, I was just like, oh my god, I never thought about that. Oh my god, I never thought about it. Oh my god, I didn't think about that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she was so fucking
Yeah.
detailed to where detailed like was perfect.
Maybe she was also taking in the job for the PR. Because if she's been in UX for hella long, maybe it wasn't a distinct job for like UX and PR like are different, you
Well,
know?
yeah. And then, well, because there was only 5 of us, like I said. And
Yeah.
then, so we just need to do a lot. And then,
Or not PR, PM, not PR, sorry, PM.
oh yeah, probably, yeah, exactly. Because, no, actually, for her, she didn't have, like, we didn't hire her for a long period of time because she was so expensive. Because, like I said, she was 10 years. So
Mhm.
basically, like, she was trying to cram everything into, like, a short period of time. So that's why she was like, I need this document like now, because I need to know what I need to do for you, because you guys are only hiring me for this amount of time because y'all cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was super nice and super sweet. Like, she was just like, why are you working here? Why don't you work in San Jose? Like, I noticed you're always late. I'm like, fuck you, bitch. Cause the meetings are at 9 o'clock in SF in Japantown, bitch. I live in San
Yeah,
Jose.
hella far.
Yeah, like,
Oh,
it
you
was.
know what? The Twitch, what is it called? Office is near there. It's like walking distance from
No,
Japantown.
no, it's not. It's in Crunchyroll is near Japantown, but I think Twitch is near Financial District now.
Oh, Crunchyroll is in the Westfield Mall.
Really? Because Twitch is near the Financial District now.
Oh, because I saw a door that had the Twitch logo.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Yeah, because I remember like they were near the thing, and basically like she was super sweet. Yeah, I don't know, but there was a lot of details that, like, for a UX designer I didn't know, because on my resume back then I wrote that I wanted to be a UX person,
Hmm.
and basically, like, we did the persona testing. Did you do interviews like that? I mean, not testing, interviews. Like, legit, she would call all of these personas that had to do with the app, because we just. So I was there taking notes, like, oh, her name is Debbie. She's a home mom. Like, she's age 40, and like legit, like the stuff you would make up, I actually did it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would have to like she's like, oh, I like easy stuff, like to do like simple, so I'm like writing all these notes down, and I'm like, oh my god, there's so much work. And then like people don't think about this, but like a UX designer, I feel like if you have a degree in psychology, it's so much better for you, because
Yeah,
like how the mind will act,
yeah.
so you have an upper hand of like how to design for that
Yeah,
kind of mind.
for these people,
Hmm.
yeah, for
Yep,
the
yep.
client,
So
for
I
the
was just
user.
like, it's not required, but like, there's a lot of research in like to be a psychologist, like minor or anything,
Hmm.
and to do that, I feel like you would have like the best design ever.
Yeah,
Yep.
seriously, I
Yeah,
think psychologists have a really good.
yeah. Way of
They
like,
can
and
really,
plus they can ask questions too.
yeah,
Yeah, like they get to know like
I think they can do really good research with UX design.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
UX
Okay,
design.
hold on. Erica, it's like artist or engineer. Uh, what kind of engineer? Do you mean backend engineer? Skip question. Next, would you want to work as QA or like for the heck of it? Hell no. Actually, QA is pretty no like no one likes a QA person. Wait, do you have QA for art? Like for designers?
I don't know.
Quality assurance? Does someone?
Quality control.
Yeah. Do you?
When I used to work at Vinegar, we had quality control people. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're anal as fuck. They're like, oh, this is not right. Go fix it. And I'm like, fuck you.
But you know what? Our design the design associates were also the quality people, so we would quality control
Each
each
other.
other's things.
So it was
Yeah.
a peer thing where like when you're working in an engineer field, like you would put it into Jara, you know what Jara,
Mhm.
yeah, or Atlantis, and basically like you would talk, you would send like you have a project. It's like I added this button. So the
Mhm.
QA would test it on all different browsers, all different computers, all different
Mhm.
things, and they'd be like, "This doesn't work," and I'm like, "Fuck." So like, it's good. Like it's really hard, but like I hate quality assurance people. I would love to do it, but I don't know if I have the like, because I didn't learn it, so I don't know how to test for what. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these people know how to test to like. Actually, some people actually don't know. That's why products fail, because they
But
they
then
skip QA.
if you're designing for something and it doesn't work on, let's say, like
But this is
what's
more the
the
interaction. I'm talking about interaction, not really design. You know what I
I know,
mean?
but shouldn't you know like the best code, or like write the best practice for each browser? Like, isn't there like a code if
Oh well,
the
I was just giving you like an example, bitch.
I'm just saying, like, isn't that like a given, like for a developer or a designer, developer, or whatever? Like, shouldn't they know the best code to do it in?
And this is where I said in real life, it's not the same as the school project where you get the best scenario ever. Sometimes you have shit ass designer and developers that are like, they don't know better, where they put a function in a function and a variable, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? I literally had to read code, and I think Caroline will understand at least this part, where like, it was like class for the div, it had class, and there was like, in the no, it was in the CSS of the JavaScript. It was like period, so the dot means it's a class, right? And it was like period, and it was targeting name, color, background. So there was like 1,000 different like.
Oh, jeez.
I was just like, bitch, you can literally just tag that last thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like I'm saying, like there's sometimes you're just like these people. They just like do a boot camp and they think they know things.
Mhm.
But I'm just like, sometimes it's not like exactly like what you want. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Would you want to work for Epic Games? Epic Games Fortnite. I don't know. They don't really have anything with the web, so I'm not really interested. I
I
mean,
have to look for their company more and see like what they're all
yeah,
about.
like the only reason I would like to work for Twitch is because I know they're a web-based thing.
Mhm.
So I know they would have a lot of positions in my field. And that's why
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. I would love to work for Twitch because I'm streaming on Twitch. Why not work for Twitch? Everything was just be done with Twitch.
What if you learned like game engineering though? Like, would you be interested in that?
The thing is, like, okay, so I remember at our school, the game engineers had the highest paying salaries of all time, and it's still the highest paying salary because with the game, it's all age. Your market is everyone. Like, you're a dork, you're a teacher, you're a professor, you're a doctor. Everyone plays games, dude. Lawyers, you know what I mean? So that's why they're the highest, because there's just more people. And then, but the thing is, like, they're like, what cheers me away from it, but because I think it is C++. I think it is more harder code that goes into games. That's why I'm just like, I don't really want to learn that. Like, when people go, oh, you could do game design, I'm like, no, but then you have to learn Maya. Maya crashes on you like every 30 seconds, and I'm not down for that.
I'm not the greatest, like, I like to draw and everything, but I'm not the greatest, like, character developer or anything like that.
And that's why I'm like, I don't fit in the game field. And for me, like Caroline versus me, Caroline is the better design, like, drawer. Artiste, like character artiste. I need like a reference, and
I'm not even like good at it though. Like,
but you are better than me. And I'm just saying, you know, like, you are better at drawing a person than me. Like, I need a reference, whereas I feel like, I mean, if I draw the same thing twice, like over and over again, I could draw it without the reference anymore. But it's only because I drew it like 10,000 times.
But a lot of artists still use references though.
Yeah, but the thing is, my references kind of look like when my drawing looks like the references.
Like the exact same thing.
No, okay, not the exact same, because I learned better. Like, I know how to add my flair into there. Oh, I was talking about this with my friend the other day, but did you know a copyright claim, like on an art piece? Like, my friend is like, why don't you design a skin for Fortnite? So, a game character, right? I'm like, I can draw you a character, but the thing is, like, Fortnite won't pay you for it because they have a team to make these characters.
Yeah.
And like, why buy it off me when the person can copy my design? And the thing is, all they need to do is change 6 things, and basically I'll tell you what they can change, and you would never know the difference. You could change my hair color, that's one. You could change, if I have a pocket, you could take out the pocket. If I have a zipper, you change it to buttons. And it's so minor that they could just copy your design, and like, you're like, okay, you're fucked.
That's fucked up, dude.
Yeah, that's why there's so many like fake stuff, because like, as long as you change 6 things, like I have a makeup box and it's like Jeffree Star. I'm gonna just change this color's name. I'm gonna change a little bit this tone down. You know what I mean? Like, you could just change it, and like, it's for use, fair use, right?
I love Jeffree Star.
I know. I was just using an example, but basically, like I would love to design a game character, because he was like, oh, it's Cambodian New Year's, and he saw my character, my filter, and he was just like, make a game character design. I'm just like, no, it's too much work. It's like not worth my time. We have 5 viewers in the views right now, and I would like to welcome everyone to our desert. If y'all have questions, or like anything you want to talk about from our experiences in the Bay Area, working in the Bay Area, it'd be great too. And what else have we talked about? Because I think we talked about a lot. We actually caught up, dude. We actually did it. Okay, for all the new people in chat, my mic was off for 50 minutes of the stream, so we literally had to talk again about the same thing. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, Caroline, my mic is off. I'm just kidding.
Your what?
My mic was off.
Oh, I was gonna be like, what? This is really cute.
Can you imagine that happening again? Oh my fucking god.
I like our other, like the one when your mic was off though, because we were talking about how I went to UX design school, and
oh wait, can you keep going? Like, you can do it again. I just trying to.
No, but my favorite part from that was when I said that I quit my job, and then you were like, oh, like that.
Oh yeah. Then, yeah, I was like, Caroline, how did you pay for the job? I mean, how did you pay for the class? That was $5,000. I was like, oh.
And then I was like, you can just, I'll give you a blowjob.
Oh my god, we're so funny. Oh my god, to think, like, I don't know, like, it's still a learning curve. I feel like in 5 years from now, I would still feel like I'm not qualified for those kind of job positions of that
I
level.
know, seriously.
Yeah.
I
So
think it's like that's a syndrome. It's like a the fake syndrome or something like that. I forgot what it's called, but it's like
you never feel like you're good enough because you're Asian and your
yeah.
parents made that instilled that in your brain. Yeah, I know. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Like you feel like you're never good enough because you never got that.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm proud of you, and you're like,
yeah.
fuck,
You know what? I don't think my mom ever or my dad ever said that they were proud of me. Maybe one time or
because
something.
you're a whore.
Could have.
No, but it's true. Like I think it's harder for me. I remember. Okay, so oh my god, I don't think I talked about this. Finally, right? Something new after an hour. Like I remember that when I was when I was graduating, the career services lady, she was just like, Jonah, why don't you have a job yet? And then it's exactly what we were just talking about, right? I was just like, I don't feel like I have the experience to even do that. And then she was just like, but it's an internship. I was just like, I feel like I'm not ready. And then she was just like, why not? And she was like, are you even looking? I'm like, yeah, I'm looking. But every time someone emails me and I feel like I'm not qualified, I reference them with somebody else. And she was just like, Jonathan, you need to stop being Asian. Like, I know how you feel. Like, you know that feeling where like you feel like, oh, I know you're thinking of other people, and it shows because I am the older sibling, and like I like to be like, oh, I'm not a good fit for this position, here, let me send you to somebody else with that I feel like it's perfect for you, so I'm helping the recruiter out. And basically, so
I was just gonna say, I feel like we always feel like that. Like, oh, it's called the imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. But
sounds like a spell.
imposter. No, but basically because we don't have enough experience in it, so it feels like we never do the job because we haven't been in the real world yet. I don't know. I feel like that's what it is for me. Like, I feel like if I were to take a UX job right now, I can do it, but because I haven't been in the field, like in the real world, I feel like I can't, because
Yeah.
you'll never know. Like, it's new, so it's new for me at least.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. And it's just like that's what I feel about React. For me, about React, I did have a job in the field, but for me, it's a little different because I got fucked up with my first job.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was living in a constant like worry, saying that, oh, I need to catch up to the speed that they need me to deliver these products. So I was just so tough on myself. So I was just like, push this out now, push this out now. Like, I go home, I work until 12 a.m. I wake up at 5 and I go back. I drive all the way up to SF, sleepy as fuck, and I continue to work. And I'm
Yeah.
still fucking late. I'm fucking.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, like,
That's crazy.
yeah, and then like I was just like, it's just like that ruined me with React. So that's why when people like I got that job about React, I'm still worried. It's just like I don't want to be behind. Like I don't want to feel like I don't know this code enough. And actually, one thing for me about coding, I didn't really tell this, but to anybody or talk about this at all, it's like I understand all the syntax. I understand grammatically. Like if you tell me to read it, I can explain it to you. But if you tell me to write it, I don't get it. Does that happen to you? Like when you did back then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Like I follow this one Instagram account where it's a job. They would put a screen of a JavaScript, and they would be like, "What's wrong with this?" And then like I could tell what it is, but if I were to code that or like
you don't know what to put to input it.
That, it's like I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I need to see it first. Yeah.
Yeah. And I always feel like that. That's why with my class, I still feel like that, but I'm not really anywhere in the class yet, like anywhere important. But with my last job before I was bedridden, I was working with somebody. He was just like, so what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to get this to here. And he was like, okay, then do it. because legitly to him, I said exactly what I wanted to do. So he was just like, oh, I think you could do it because you said it. And I was just like, but how do I do it? And legitly when he would do it, I'm like, oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, it's weird. I think we just need to like
be more confident and like. Wait, what? What'd you say? You kind of cut off.
Writing.
Say it again.
Practice writing.
Yeah. That's why I was just like, no. But the thing is, like during my classes, I follow along, but I still. Actually, you know, I'm better at it now. I'm still better at it now. Like, if you tell me to write something, I can do it. But back then, like, it was really hard for me. And
that hella reminds me of when we were still in school, and then we would do HTML and CSS projects at school, right? Mm-hmm. And then like we would try and finish it at home. But when I'm at home, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Oh, I never had that.
Oh my god, that always happened to me. I think that used to happen to Eleanor too. Yeah. Like we would like start off hella like motivated at school, and like we would do it right, and when we come home, it's like, what the fuck did I write? Like,
oh my god.
What is this?
I just remember like towards your last few quarters, we were just playing Tetris in class the whole time.
Oh my god, remember I used to code and like have Top's picture on the side? Yeah.
Your ovaries would explode, you fucking whore.
Playing Tetris was so much fun though.
I know, that was so much fun. I miss everyone. I would like Steven was like, oh, you know how he went to school before? So with his class or with his field, with his group, they have once a month meetups still to this day.
Oh wow!
And I think
really?
I think it's dope.
That's so cool.
And he was just like, we should do that, and I'm like, who's planning it?
I know, right? I'm not gonna plan it. Like...
Yeah, I'm like the worst. Like I'm supposed to go to Caroline's house and I still haven't. It's been like a year, 2 years.
It's 2 years, 2 fucking years.
Whatever. I'm so lazy.
Yeah, you're fucking lazy ass.
No, but I would love to meet like everyone again because everyone's doing so well. I feel like freaking like the like you know the social media reels. Like we only see like what they want us to see and not if they're struggling or not. You know what I mean? But I feel like everyone's doing well. I know Eleanor still struggles. Like I can see from like when she messages me, I'm like, girl, you need help with design so hard. Like fuck.
Oh my god, you're hella funny.
No, I'm serious. Like, I would love to help her out. Like, when she would message me, I feel like if I message her again, like, she would talk to you more if you message her, so she can message you back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because, now she's back from vacay of the honeymoon, and yeah. I'm hella tired. We talked for like 2 hours, bitch. My throat. Hold on. Just give me like let me get some water. Oh my god. I mean, we can end it whenever. I feel like we have that extra hour of shit now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was great. I can't believe that happened.
I can't believe it either. Like we fucking talked for 2 fucking hours
about the decision.
Because of you.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I really want a job. I'm broke.
Me too.
I'm actually not broke. You know how like so I think I reached the bottom before. So now I live in a constant like live like there's only $1 in your bank. And every time I check the bank, I'm like, yay, money! but like when I go out, I'm like, live like there's still $1 in your bank. So like I'm like,
hold on. What if we both find jobs while AX is going on? What's gonna happen?
Oh, you don't know what to do? I do, because usually what I would do is
you tell them, right?
You would tell them in the beginning so they can plan for it. Yeah. And that's just like the courtesy. And the thing is like when you tell them about the thing before, oh bitch, it's July 4th. I forgot. Yeah, I hella forgot. I'm like, that's why I don't really have to worry about July 4th.
Well, but then at the same, well, I think I had to worry about it before because I worked in that. It's like a retail company.
Because you work at the holidays and like holidays the best time for you guys sometimes.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I think. Well, it's not just 4th of July. It's like 4 days. So.
No, actually, this year you're lucky because the 4th of July is on a Wednesday, and usually companies consolidate the days, so you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday off. Oh wait, is it Wednesday or Thursday? Let me check.
I don't know, but well, regardless, I'll still talk to them about it.
Most companies they would have. Oh, Independence Day is Thursday, so you will get Friday and then Saturday, Sunday off usually. That's how it works. Like
Okay.
all the companies I've been at, like they like to consolidate. They'll move like one day and they'll give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably like if I do start working. I will probably like use PTO on Wednesday or use a sick day on Wednesday.
Wait, can we plan this? So, wait, have you started planning your cosplays yet?
I planned it, but I haven't done anything
Oh, you haven't done it? Oh, same here.
because I'm broke.
Um,
'Cause
Same. Wait, so, what day are we heading out? That Thursday or Wednesday?
What? Maybe in like 10 minutes. We could leave the day off, July 4th, because if we leave in the morning, I don't think people are going out.
Mm.
You know what I mean? People tend to travel more during like the early morning or like later at night because they want to go watch the fireworks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we leave around 11 and then get there around. Oh, wait, that's 7 o'clock, huh? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You want to
Let's
go
leave early. Maybe like 9?
9? Yeah. That sounds good.
8 or 9?
Yeah. Sounds great. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, so you're going to come here on the Wednesday then?
I can sleep over, yeah.
Because then we could do shit on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I want to go to get sushi and I want to go to Aki.
All right. I
Okay.
think we should wrap this up.
Okay, thank you everyone who has tuned in today at one point or another. Thank
Yeah,
you
thank
anyone, no one that was there when I was fucking no voice. So mad.
Oh, you know what I can do? Do you think next time I can check you out on stream like on my phone or something and see?
I do too. Yeah, but you should do it too because I do it, but I can't hear my voice because my mic will pick up everything. So
Yeah,
for
yeah.
you, if you do it really fast to see, we could just be like, hey, check.
Yeah, I can do it into like a different room or something like
Yeah. Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to thank everyone for tuning in again. This is Honey from Honey and Koko on YouTube. Follow them if you happen to stumble upon. This podcast will be on iTunes very soon. It has been approved, but it will go public probably in the next like 2 days or so. And hope you guys have a great rest of the night.
Magical night. Bye.
Bye. Oh shit, wrong computer.